welcome back everybody to week 6 of the waiver wire. This weekend, it's kind of a different, crazy week. Lots of what could happen, did happen. We had Michael Thomas out with an altercation with the teammate. We had Dak Prescott go down with a gruesome injury that looks to be season ending. We had Garoppolo benched, possibly because of injury. Not quite sure what's going on there in San Francisco. And Alex Smith with a triumphant return, except for Kyle Allen, I guess, is coming back. So, what could happen, did happen. Before we get into the top waiver wire pickups of the week, please click the subscribe button now. And here we go. This week for quarterbacks, Andy Dalton for Dallas Cowboys. That is one of the top offenses in the country right now. We got CeeDee Lamb, Zeke Elliott, Michael Gallup, and of course Amari Cooper and Dalton Schultz. I think they are second in the country for passing offense. And Andy Dalton is going to slide right in and, of course, not be anywhere near Dak Prescott. But if you just lost Dak Prescott and he was your go-to quarterback, then Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, could do you well. Second, or technically my first, what I've picked up is Teddy Bridgewater. The guy's been pretty consistent. Taking a look at it, he's rostered in 40% of ESPN leagues. And I think with the emergence of Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore and somewhat Kurt Samuel, and Mike Davis, of course, slipping in seamlessly with Christian McCaffrey, Teddy Bridgewater has some weapons. And so I think he constantly is putting up numbers. Their defense isn't very strong. And so Teddy Bridgewater, I think, is my top quarterback pickup of the week. Following, we go to Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, he's from Oregon, right? Basically, since we have no Oregon pro football here, Oregon football is like my true love. But besides that, this isn't me, hometown loyalty going on. I truly believe in Justin Herbert. He has a big frame, big body. He's quick, but he's not a go-to runner. He's always looking through his reads and putting the ball mostly where it needs to go. I think he has some growing pains to go through, but Justin Herbert is definitely a solid option. And very similar to Teddy Bridgewater, he has lots of options with Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas, Hunter Henry, and of course the running backs on top of that. So Justin Herbert would be an excellent pickup. Let's talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick here, shall we? From week 2 through week 5, Ryan Fitzpatrick is the 5th quarterback overall. The guy is a gunslinger. He puts his body in harm's way to get to that first down. If you've ever seen him run, he runs with ferociousness, I'll say that. But the guy is like diving head first because he's just willing to give it up all on the line. And so he's willing to chuck it downfield. He's willing to get those 50-50 balls. He's not too scared to do it. And so with that big chance comes big reward. And so Ryan Fitzpatrick has been doing really well. So if he's still on your waiver wire at 21% rostered, I would definitely be picking him up. Now let's take a look at running backs. Once again, my top pickup of the week is Chase Edmonds. It's definitely committee, and I think Chase Edmonds is definitely the better running back. I think at some point right now, last week, it was a 66% Kenyon Drake, 44% Chase Edmonds. I think at some point in the next couple weeks, those are going to switch. Chase Edmonds is just way more efficient, and Kenyon Drake is, I think, slowing down. Chase Edmonds is more involved in the passing game, and he's getting more touchdowns, and I think he's going to be getting more opportunities on the ground as well. So Chase Edmonds has to be picked up. Right now he's 45% rostered, so close to 50-50, but I'm hoping by next week that he's not on my waiver wire pickups because he's above 50%. Second, Alexander Mattison. Without Dalvin Cook, he's an easy RB2. With Dalvin Cook, he's a flex play. Last week, Dalvin Cook went down with a groin injury. Seems to be doing okay. I think he came back for like a play or two in the third quarter, and then they pulled him or something. But Dalvin Cook, might be okay here. But it just goes to show that when Alexander Madison's in, when Dalvin Cook's out, Madison's the guy. He had like 20 carries, and he went for I don't have the yardage with me, but he was the guy. And so if at all Dalvin Cook goes down, Alexander Madison is the guy to run. And so picking him up early before all this chaos happens is a smart idea. Third, we got Damian Harris for the New England Patriots. Last week was kind of an impromptu bye week for the Patriots. And so they moved their Denver Broncos game to this week, which of course made a headache of roster changes, but I won't get into that because I don't know them. But we have Damian Harris, who when he came back in his first game from IR, ran and got 100 yards rushing. Right? We know James White's there. We know Rex Burkhead's there. But Damian Harris is taking over from Sony Michel, and he looks much better doing it. And lastly, for the running back position, it's not super exciting, but J.D. McKissic for the Washington football team. I don't usually pick up running backs for bad football teams. Either touchdowns are not going to be there. They're going to be throwing a lot, so running is not very opportunity to run is not there. But I guess that's the cool thing about J.D. McKissic is that in some formats he has a wide receiver and a running back position listing, and so J.D. McKissic is catching a lot of footballs. I think last week he had like 5 for 5. The week before that he had like 6 for 7. He's not doing a whole lot of it, but as we get into bye weeks, the guy is pretty consistent. I think you can expect to get like 8 to 12 points from him, and I expect that hopefully, one of these weeks that he's going to go a little bit beyond that. But it seems like right now they're in this like McKissic, Gibson tandem. And so like if you're looking for a bye week's replacement just to get by, you could do a little bit worse than J.D. McKissic. All right, let's move on to wide receivers. Again, we have very similar names to last week because again, there's just so many wide receivers. This is the reason why in my strategy articles, I always talk about getting running back early and often because there's so many wide receivers that will emerge and continue on throughout the year. So first of all, Laviska Shenault again. The guy has been pretty consistent. He is, even when DJ Chark went down, he seems to be the second go-to option. And with Gardner Minshew needing all the help he can get, because there's not a lot of skills out there at Jacksonville. Laviska Shenault is a solid option, consistently getting about 12 to 15 points. I mean, he's on the waiver wire. He's free. Go get him. Next, we have T. Higgins one more time. I'm just going to go through this quick because what else am I going to say about T. Higgins? He's, again, getting about 10 to 15 points consistently. Joe Burrow is starting to build that rapport with him. And I expect, and A.J. Green, I think, went out this week. And so I don't think Green's going to be the guy. I think eventually Higgins will take over. You have Tyler Boyd in the slot, Higgins on the outside, Drew Sample as the tight end. I think Joe Burrow has a lot of options, but I think T. Higgins is growing. And now for the big one for wide receivers, Chase Claypool. Literally big. The guy's a monster. If you watched him on this weekend, he was open a lot, getting total of 4 different touchdowns. It's like, how can you not guard Chase Claypool? You got to be happy if you're a Big Ben owner like myself. They have so many options, and Big Ben can just pick them apart. So a couple weeks ago, Chase Claypool had another 18-point game. Then he had a couple duds, and then now he has like a big 20-plus point game. I think these are the types of players that you're looking for on your waiver wire. Big upside, players that are actually going to go out there and win you some weeks. Right? You don't want, I just talked about picking up J.D. McKissic for bye week replacement. But J.D. McKissick isn't necessarily going to win you leagues. He might help you not lose, but Chase Claypool are the types of big winners that you're going to look for. They're going to get you those huge games every once in a while. The hard part is knowing when to play them. And so, it's like this boom bust type, chance. But when you're dealing with bye weeks and you have to slide someone in, I mean, Chase Claypool is the type of guy you want. And we'll quickly go through these last three receivers. We have Preston Williams, Miami Dolphins. We have Travis, forgive me if I say this wrong, Fulgham, and Tim Patrick. I wrote about Tim Patrick last week. Not much else to say except for the fact that I think he went 6 of 7 for over 100 yards. And last week they had an impromptu bye week. So I imagine that people are, with new bye weeks coming up, people might start dropping him. I would suggest having a look out for Tim Patrick, but there's just not many other options to throw to. So Tim Patrick is valuable, I guess. Preston Williams last year, I really thought that he was the guy. He did really well. And then after he went out with a knee injury, Devontae Parker just shot up, and I really thought that this year Preston Williams was going to come back. I guess what it was is that as we got closer to the beginning of the season, there were still questions about the injury, but it looks like maybe this was the week that Preston Williams really got into his momentum. So Preston Williams pickup and Travis Fulgham. This is the second week of getting 15 points for the Eagles. There's just nobody there. I mean, I can hold out hope for J-Jaw, but you have Greg Ward and you have Zach Ertz. There's just not really many options. Poor Carson Wentz. So, again, when there's not a lot of options there to throw to, you got to throw to somebody. And so Travis Fulgham, if I'm saying that right, is a solid option for this week's pickup. And lastly, tight end. I don't really have much for you in tight end except for Robert Tonyan. Again, if I say that right, I apologize if I'm wrong. For the Green Bay Packers, the guy's been solid. I think he was dropped because of bye weeks, which makes sense, I suppose, if you don't want to carry two tight ends. I think Robert is the type of tight end that you would probably want to hold on to. He's been a top tight end, or definitely tight end one for the last couple of weeks. I think it's hard to build Aaron Rodgers' trust, but I think Robert has it, especially with you have Devontae Adams, Allen Lazard's on injury. There's just not much there. I guess Aaron Jones is like the third receiver out there catching passes. So Robert Tonyan is like must pick up. He's 48% rostered. I expect not to talk about him next week because he'll be above 50%. But Robert Tonyan is a must pick up. Like, you have to. If he was out there on my waiver wires, I would snatch him up in a heartbeat. So there you have it. Week 6 waiver wire. Please subscribe. Check out our other videos. Later this week, check out Shannon's awesome start sit video. I always look at them. I'm always trying to manipulate my rosters based on what his suggestions are. He's got a brain on him for sure. So thank you so much. I'll see you back here next week for week 7 of the waiver wire.